Have you ever wondered why some people can effortlessly sway opinions, inspire entire teams, or close deals with seemingly little effort, while others struggle to be heard even when their ideas are brilliant? The answer doesn't lie in mere charisma or luck. It lies in the subtle, often hidden science of influence and persuasion. These are forces that shape human behavior every single day, often without us even realizing it. From personal relationships to boardrooms, from social media campaigns to political rallies, understanding the principles of influence is like holding a master key to human behavior. But here's the most important thing to understand. Influence is not manipulation. It's not trickery. It's a deep understanding of psychology, communication, and human needs, and when applied ethically, it allows you to connect, inspire, and guide people in ways that feel natural and mutually beneficial. The first and perhaps most essential principle of influence is that people make decisions emotionally and justify them logically. Neuroscience confirms this. The emotional brain, particularly the limbic system, reacts before the rational prefrontal cortex engages. What this means in practice is that the first impression, the tone of your voice, the subtle cues in your body language, these all plant the initial seeds of decision-making long before facts and figures come into play. Imagine you're attending a meeting and a colleague presents a proposal. It's not just the slides or numbers that make you nod, it's the story they tell, the confidence they project, and the way they make you feel understood and included. Without realizing it, your emotional brain has already begun to lean in their direction. Understanding this principle allows you to craft messages that resonate deeply, aligning emotional appeal with logical justification. One of the most powerful and widely studied principles in persuasion is reciprocity. Humans are hardwired to return favors. When someone does something for us, even something small, like offering help, giving a compliment, or sharing valuable information, we feel an instinctive need to reciprocate. This is why free samples, helpful advice, and small acts of kindness are so effective in both social and professional contexts. But the power of reciprocity goes far beyond marketing. In relationships, consistent acts of generosity build trust, create loyalty, and strengthen bonds. In business, it can open doors to collaborations that might have seemed impossible. The key is authenticity, giving with genuine intent rather than expecting immediate returns. Ethical reciprocity not only strengthens influence but fosters long-term trust, which is far more valuable than any short-term gain. Closely related to reciprocity is the principle of social proof, which is grounded in our instinct to follow the actions of others, particularly in situations of uncertainty. Humans are inherently social creatures, and we rely on the collective behavior of our peers to guide decisions. This is why online reviews, testimonials, and influencer endorsements carry so much weight. Social proof taps into our desire to belong, to align with group norms, and to avoid making choices that might be socially frowned upon. Think about a restaurant with a long line versus an empty one. The crowded restaurant instantly communicates credibility and quality, even if you've never tasted the food. Understanding and ethically leveraging social proof means demonstrating credibility, showcasing others' successes, and creating environments where people feel safe following your lead. Another fundamental principle is authority. People tend to follow those who appear knowledgeable, competent, or credible. This instinct is rooted in survival. Throughout history, following a trusted leader increased the chances of survival. Authority is conveyed not only through titles, uniforms, or credentials, but also through nonverbal cues such as posture, voice modulation, and confidence. However, authority must be authentic. False or exaggerated claims quickly erode trust, while genuine expertise, combined with humility, creates a magnetic influence. When applied wisely, authority helps guide decisions, instills confidence, and provides clarity in complex situations. The principle of commitment and consistency is another powerful tool in persuasion. Once individuals commit to an idea, a course of action, or even a small request, they are more likely to act consistently with that commitment in the future. This explains why micro-commitments, such as agreeing to a minor request or expressing a small preference, can lead to larger decisions and actions later. Humans have an inherent desire to appear reliable and rational and to align their actions with their self-image. By understanding this, you can structure interactions that encourage genuine engagement, create buy-in, and motivate sustained action without coercion. Language itself is a potent instrument of influence. Words are not just vessels for information. They frame perceptions, evoke emotions, and subtly guide thought. The art of framing involves presenting information in ways that highlight benefits, minimize drawbacks, or shift perspective. For instance, consider the difference between 95% effective and fails 5% of the time. Though statistically identical, the emotional impact is dramatically different. Beyond numbers, storytelling, metaphors, and vivid imagery create mental experiences that resonate far deeper than mere facts. When we tell a story, we allow people to step into an emotional journey, making the message unforgettable and the persuasion natural. Yet, influence is not solely about what you say, it's also about listening and understanding. Active listening builds connection and rapport, which are critical for persuasion. When people feel heard and understood, they are far more receptive to influence. Mirroring body language, asking thoughtful questions, and reflecting understanding are subtle techniques that communicate empathy and build trust. Influence grounded in genuine understanding is powerful because it feels mutual rather than imposed. Timing, context, and environment are equally crucial. Even the most compelling argument can fail if delivered in the wrong moment or setting. Emotional intelligence, the ability to perceive, understand, and manage emotions in yourself and others, plays a vital role here. It allows you to adjust your approach based on cues, mood, and readiness, increasing receptivity and reducing resistance. Scarcity is another principle that significantly impacts decision-making. Humans instinctively value limited resources more highly. Opportunities that are rare or fleeting create urgency and prompt action. In marketing, scarcity is often used through limited-time offers or exclusive products. But scarcity is not manipulation when used ethically. It highlights genuine value, motivating timely decisions without eroding trust. Influence is also deeply tied to connection and likability. People are more likely to be persuaded by those they like, respect, and feel emotionally connected to. Building rapport through empathy, shared goals, and authentic engagement strengthens the bonds necessary for effective influence. A message delivered by a stranger may fall flat, but the same message delivered by someone who has established trust and shared understanding can inspire action immediately. Let's dive deeper into real-world applications of these principles. Consider political campaigns. Candidates rely heavily on social proof, authority, and emotional storytelling. They create images and narratives that resonate with voters' values, use endorsements to demonstrate credibility, and employ scarcity by emphasizing critical election moments. In business, top negotiators harness reciprocity and commitment techniques to create mutually beneficial deals, often starting with small agreements that escalate naturally into major commitments. In daily life, parents use framing, empathy, and consistency to guide children's behavior, shaping choices without overt pressure. Influence is everywhere once you know what to look for. It's the invisible force guiding decisions in nearly every human interaction. Psychological research provides fascinating insights into why these principles work. Robert Cialdini, a leading authority on influence, identified 6 universal principles: reciprocity, commitment and consistency, social proof, authority, liking, and scarcity. Modern neuroscience complements these ideas, showing how dopamine and reward circuits in the brain respond to social validation, fairness, and emotional storytelling. By combining psychological theory with real-world observation, we see that influence is not random, it's structured, predictable, and ethically teachable. Ethical application is crucial. Influence should not be about tricking or exploiting others, it should empower them to make better choices. Ethical persuasion builds trust, fosters cooperation, and leads to long-term success. Unethical influence may work in the short term, but it damages credibility, erodes relationships, and ultimately backfires. True mastery of influence combines knowledge, observation, practice, and a commitment to integrity. Now, let's explore advanced techniques that elevate influence to an art form. Mirroring and matching involve subtly reflecting the body language, tone, and verbal style of the person you're engaging with. This fosters unconscious rapport and trust. Anchoring involves associating ideas or requests with strong emotions or memorable experiences, making them more persuasive. Priming subtly prepares someone for a response by exposing them to cues that influence later decisions. Each of these techniques draws from deep psychological principles and can significantly enhance the effectiveness of your persuasion when used responsibly. Influence is also about perception. People often respond not just to reality, but to their perception of reality. This is why positioning, branding, and communication style are so powerful. If someone perceives you as competent, confident, and trustworthy, they are more likely to follow your lead. By managing perception ethically, through clarity, consistency, and authenticity, you create an environment where influence occurs naturally. In conclusion, the secrets of influence and persuasion are not hidden tricks. They are grounded in the science of human behavior. Principles like reciprocity, social proof, authority, consistency, language framing, active listening, timing, scarcity, connection, and perception form a toolkit for navigating the complexities of human interaction. Mastery comes from understanding these principles deeply, applying them ethically, observing outcomes, and refining your approach over time. Influence is not about coercion, it's about alignment, connection, and creating environments where people choose to follow your lead because they see the value, understand the reasoning, and feel emotionally engaged. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this deep dive into the secrets of influence and persuasion valuable, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights that can transform the way you communicate, connect, and create impact. Remember, influence is a skill that anyone can develop, and every interaction is an opportunity to practice it thoughtfully, ethically, and with heart. By understanding these principles and applying them responsibly, you have the power to guide decisions, foster relationships, and create positive change, not through force, but through genuine understanding and human connection.